as though there are more incredible guitar players in the world today than ever before. And this is because it's easier than ever to discover new guitar players. At any time, I can just pick up my phone and scroll through Instagram or YouTube and discover all kinds of new, amazing, and talented players. And most of the time, I find myself in awe of the technique, knowledge, and skill of many of these modern players. But there is a problem I find with the way many modern players approach playing the blues. It's something I hear time and time again, so much so that it inspired me to make this lesson. My name is Jack Ruch. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into it. So in recent years, blues guitar has been influenced more and more by highly technical rock guitar playing. It's pretty common nowadays to hear a blues solo with super fast alternate picked pentatonic lines thrown in right along with classic blues phrases. Now, it's only natural that musical styles evolve and transform over time. But I think there's one important aspect that is being left behind, and that is space. We've all heard the old saying, it's not about the notes you play, but the notes you don't play. But in fact, the two things are exactly equal. That's why when you look at a piece of sheet music, you'll see the rests written right along with the notes, and they're given specific rhythmic values. That's because these rests or spaces need to be played, just like the notes. And when you listen to the classic blues players of the past, they understood how to use space and rhythmic phrasing to give their playing depth. And unfortunately, this is something I hear less and less of today. So let's get into some examples of what I'm talking about. I'm going to play over a super simple one-chord vamp in E to demonstrate what it sounds like playing with no space. Then we'll get into a few ways we can add space and phrasing to give these same notes way more depth. So here we go. We're going to play over an E7 vamp, and I'm going to use notes from E mixolydian and some E pentatonic blues phrases, but all strung together with no space like one long run-on sentence. So the first thing we can do to improve this is just add space. We can take the exact same notes, but break them apart and add spaces in between to give it a more natural and vocal sound. Just like you wouldn't talk in one continuous run-on sentence, we can add rests or breaths into our playing to make the phrasing more natural. So now I'm going to play more or less the same notes, but I'm going to add these spaces in between the phrases just to stretch it out and give it a more natural feel. Okay, so that, in my opinion, already sounds way better, but let's take it one step further. Now that we've added some spaces between these phrases, let's use some of these phrases to create repeating motifs. Instead of just moving from one line straight to the next, we can hang on certain lines and repeat them to play something a little bit more meaningful and memorable. Alright, so now that we've used three different approaches for soloing over this track, the long connected phrases, the broken apart phrases moving from one to the next, and then repeating the phrases to create motifs. We can take these three approaches and start to combine them together. And since we've taken the time to add space and repetition into our solo, it makes way more sense and is way more musical when we do throw in a long connected line. So one more time through the track, combining elements of all three of these solos. So I hope this lesson is helpful for you and gives you some food for thought in how you can break apart your solos and add some more depth and meaning into the lines that you're playing. As always, the tabs for the examples as well as this backing track are going to be available up on my Patreon page. The link is down in the description, so go check that out. And until next time, happy practicing and take care.